Early 1970s, Iran is changing fast. Literacy rates have doubled from previous decades, and the economy is booming. The so-called White Revolution paved the way for improved education, women's rights, and rapid urbanization. Oil sales soar by almost 700%. For the first time, women can vote, and government officials move towards more secular forms of law. But despite these enormous socio-economic advancements, deep tensions are growing. The early 1950s saw incredible political turmoil as the United States orchestrated a coup to restore power to the Iranian monarch, the Shah Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, after the Iranian parliament forced him out of the country. The intervention tightly bound American-Iranian relations, turning Iran into a key ally in the American Cold War strategy. U.S. aid, technical expertise, and weapons flow in, while the Shah pursued rapid modernizations and closer ties with the West.
We are subsidizing 5 items of food. All the education is free throughout the university. We are even paying pocket money to the students.
But beneath the surface, all is not well. Although the economy was booming, the benefits were unevenly distributed. Wealth inequality widened, and much of the middle class failed to see real improvements in their quality of life. The Shah's reforms transformed Iranian society at an unprecedented pace. Cities expand rapidly, religious freedom is allowed, and, for the first time, women gained the right to vote. But Iran is not a democracy.
I think that we have just taken what is good for this country. And I even sometimes wonder if this multi-party system is good for those who have it elsewhere. But for us, it seems that what we have done now is the best because, as I said, just go in the streets and question anybody. You will see the whole country has joined the movement.
The Shah, political expression is tightly controlled. Elections exist, but choices are limited, and opposing parties are banned. Many landless, rural families migrate to larger cities in search of better pay, only to find they rarely benefit from the Shah's policies. Oil profits are reinvested, but the countryside sees little meaningful change. When oil prices collapsed in 1975, unemployment surges and corruption is worsened. Discontent grows as more Iranians oppose authoritarian rule and increasing U.S. interference. The regime relies heavily on its secret police, SAVAK, to silence critics, but repression only deepens public resentment. As unrest spreads, radical leftist groups become more active, carrying out political attacks. Most Iranians avoid these organizations, fearing SAVAK retaliation. Religious leaders, however, emerge as powerful opponents of the Shah. They criticize the White Revolution and condemn Western secularism, gaining widespread support from the population alienated by rapid change. Religious leaders put political messages in the sermons, often avoiding punishment due to their status. The most prominent of these clerics is Ayatollah Khomeini. Since the 1960s, Khomeini openly opposed the Shah and was exiled to Iraq. Khomeini is described as a revolutionary figure, promoting traditional Islamic values alongside a vision for an Iranian republic. His message resonates with young men and the working class. The support for revolutionary movement rapidly grows. The Khomeini's ideas motivate the population to take action. His eventual return ignites a mass uprising that reshapes Iran's political sovereignty. Widespread civilian unrest destabilizes the monarchy and accelerates its collapse. By early 1978, economic crisis and political tension erupted into riots. Streets fill with young, angry protesters. When police respond with lethal force, funerals turn into mass demonstrations. The unrest shocks the Shah, who believes himself to be widely supported. The United States is also caught off guard, having assumed the Shah's position was secure. By August, riots spread nationwide. Protesters attack symbols of the monarchy.
On August 19th, a cinema was set on fire, killing over 450 people. Many Iranians believe SAVAK is responsible, intensifying hatred toward the regime. Violence escalates over the following weeks, reaching a breaking point on September 8th.
The Shah declared martial law, and when demonstrators refused to disperse, he ordered his troops to open fire.
Government troops opened fire, killing 68 and wounding over 200 protesters. Outrage spreads across the country, with opposition groups claiming far higher casualties. many soldiers hesitate, struggling to enforce martial law on civilians from backgrounds similar to their own. U.S. officials remain divided. Despite concerns over human rights, Iran remains a crucial Cold War ally. Unsure how to act, the United States largely remains silent. Protests intensify over the following months. The Shah's authority rapidly declines, yet he remains publicly silent. As Iran descends into crisis, the Shah interprets American inaction as a support for Khomeini. Refusing to unleash widespread violence, the Shah hesitates. Soon, over 1 million Iranians flood the streets, welcoming Khomeini as he returns from exile. Khomeini immediately moves to dismantle the monarchy and form an Islamic republic through strength in numbers and a national referendum. Protesters seize weapons, factories, and clash with royal forces. The army ultimately declares neutrality, sealing the Shah's fate. The monarchy collapses, and revolutionaries begin constructing a new government.
The Shah flees the country, but the chaos does not end. Over 250,000 weapons flood the streets after the army collapses. The groups that once united against the monarchy now turn on one another, competing for power. Khomeini consolidates control, gathering former military leaders who served the Shah and ordering their executions. Tensions between the new Iranian Republic and the United States escalate when President Carter allows the Shah to seek refuge in America. In response, protesters storm the U.S. Embassy, triggering a hostage crisis. Both sides attempt to de-escalate, but the crisis destabilizes American politics. President Carter authorizes Operation Eagle Claw, a rescue mission intended to free the hostages. The mission fails, further damaging Carter's credibility and hardening Khomeini's resolve.
Among many nations, as this crisis has continued, it was my decision to attempt the rescue operation. It was my decision to cancel it when problems developed in the placement of our rescue team for a future rescue operation. The responsibility is fully my own.
The failure proved politically disastrous for Carter. His approval ratings plummet and he loses the next election to Ronald Reagan. Before Reagan took office, Carter reached an agreement with Khomeini, pledging non-interference and unfreezing Iranian assets in exchange for the hostages' release. Back in Iran, Khomeini called for a referendum asking, should Iran be an Islamic republic? Over 98% vote yes. However, deep divisions remain over how the new state should function. Many worry about the role of religious law and its impact on foreign relations. Khomeini sidelines moderates who seek improved ties with the United States, and as the hostage crisis ends, he builds his regime on a foundation of anti-American ideology. Unrest soon returns to the streets. Communist and Marxist groups challenge Khomeini's government, but protesters are no longer met with restraint. The regime responds with violent crackdowns, eliminating opposition through force.
3 times, 3 بار خواستن منو با میترا با خواهرشون برو by the ball and they will kill you, shoot you.
Changes are swift and severe. Sharia law is enforced, women lose many recently gained rights, and segregation policies are imposed. Living standards decline as political repression intensifies. Iran's transformation reshapes global relations, and the United States loses a major Middle Eastern ally. Today, the Islamic Republic remains in power. Despite leadership changes, the regime stays rooted in strict Sharia law and anti-American ideology. Iran emerges as a regional power, continuing to influence Middle Eastern and global politics. Public frustration never fully fades. Waves of protests return over the years, driven by economic hardship, oppression, and demands for freedom. These tensions culminate in the January 2026 riots, drawing international attention. Statements from US President Donald Trump and other EU leaders further inflame the situation. The government responds with force. Experts estimate over 60,000 are killed as security forces suppress dissent. Amid the violence, desperation grows, and some Iranians even look toward the Shah's son as a possible alternative. The Iranian Revolution of 1979 permanently reshaped the nation. What begins as a revolt against the monarchy results in a new authoritarian system. The Shah's repression enables Khomeini's rise through mass protests and referendums, but the government that follows fails to deliver the freedom many hoped for. Over half a century later, the revolution's legacy still defines Iran. The struggle over power continues. In 1979, Iranians rose to reclaim their future. Today, that same desire for change remains, as Iran confronts the lasting consequences of a revolution that still shapes its path.